What an amazing win at Wrigley last night. I think it was one of the most exciting games that the Cubs have played in a long time. Hopefully they'll take some momentum from that game and it'll carry on. I want to talk about that game. I want to talk about the Cubs search for pitching, what that looks like as things progress. Hey, you win 11-10. The problem is you gave up 10 runs. The good thing is you scored 11. All that right here on the Cubs Baseball channel. Like, subscribe, thumbs up, hit the bell. Listen, I know that's pretty complicated for White Sox fans and for Cardinals fans. You guys just thank you for being here. Cubs fans, I know you got me covered. Let's get this thing What's everybody? Mick Gillespie, Cubs Baseball Channel. Thank you for being here today. And I'll tell you what a great game the Cubs had last night. I mean, so many different things to get into in this game. Pete Crow-Armstrong has been absolutely Hollywood Pete. You're seeing the best of what he brings to the table. The Cubs had the big lead. They got off to a bad start. They came back. They took the lead. Dodgers came back, and then the Cubs fought back. Kyle Tucker with a big home run. Miguel Amaya with, a clutch 2-out 9th inning home run, and then Porter Hodge comes in and and keeps it right where it is, and then Ian Happ with the walk-off. So many people that you look at a win like this, it is definitely a team win. Cubs pounding out 17 hits in the game, and a huge win against one of the best teams in baseball in the Dodgers. But it's a win that tells you that this team is starting to figure it out. Cubs have more 10-run games than anybody else, 7 of them in baseball. The offense has been really good. And I look at games like this and I say, hey, you might have scored 11 tonight, but it was the game last night when you see them kind of or a couple nights ago when they figure out a way to do it. They might not have won against the Diamondbacks the night before when they figure out a way to score. Baseball is one of those games where you have games where you score a bunch of runs, but then there's also games where you got to move runners over and get base hits. This team's finding a way to score runs. That makes them so dangerous to me because they're going to have these big games where they score a ton of runs. There's so many weapons in this lineup now that you're getting a lot of production out of Pete Crow-Armstrong and Michael Busch. Dansby Swanson, hasn't lived up to his contract, but you know what? I mean, he whatever it is there, Ian Happ with the walk-off. I just felt like this was one of the best wins you could have just because it's a Wrigley win. And Cubs fans, I've been a Cubs fan for 40 years. I've seen these kind of games, like the good Cubs teams score runs and they give up runs. It's just the way that this stadium plays. It is the friendly confines, as Harry called it, and I thought that the game was definitely a friendly confines win, an extra innings victory for this Cubs team, and a win that kind of defines their personality, that they're not going to quit. Kyle Tucker makes such a big difference. I think we all agree on that. But it was everybody. I mean, he elevates everybody. He makes everybody a little bit better. What a win. One of the biggest wins of the year, but you got to come back and do it again. Still, beating the Dodgers is always fantastic. Let's talk about this. Gavin Holloway was promoted. Jordan Wicks was sent to the minor leagues. This guy comes in and this is a bullpen shakeup. They're trying to figure out options for this bullpen. Jed Hoyer said it, and Jed Hoyer and his staff are up against the wall. This is it for them. If this team doesn't win, then they're all going to be out. And they still could win and they could all be out. They've got to impress the ownership enough to convince them that they're worth keeping around, right? So they bring up Holloway. He makes his Cubs debut. And I'll tell you what, he was fantastic. Craig Counsell talked about that in the postgame. This is a guy that pitched 5 games, 6 1/3 innings, and had a 4.26 ERA for AAA Iowa. But he got the opportunity. And the reason he got the opportunity is that the Cubs right now are dealing with some guys out. Ryan Brashear Tyson Miller, Eli Morgan, who's probably going to be out for the year if they haven't announced that yet. So you need other guys to step up and figure out what's going on. Now, along those same lines, Javier Assad pitched for Iowa. He left the game earlier than he was scheduled to with an oblique injury. That's what he was already on the IL with. So, look, this is not a good thing for the Cubs because we were kind of expecting Assad to be a guy to slide in there and help you with maybe being that fifth starter spot. But that's not going to happen. I mean, at least anytime soon. So, a big loss for the Cubs with Assad. And by, these guys getting an opportunity, I think it's a big deal. I mean, I think that the whoever's going to step up and deliver is going to be able to help the team. Now, Bruce Levine, who we've known for a long time, talking about the Cubs basically looking out there, kicking the tires for pitching. It doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. And the Cubs are looking for bargain options that can come in and get outs, but they're not going to have to spend a lot of money. Colin Ray, Matthew Boyd kind of fit that same thing. Now, Justin Steele being out for the season isn't going to help them a whole lot. But they're working the phones. I don't see the Marlins trading Sandy Alcantara unless the Cubs make a deal that they can't refuse. And if the Cubs make a deal that they can't refuse, and this turns out to be a season that's not really, really, really good, if they trade Owen Casey for this guy, I'd be pretty disappointed because I think Owen Casey's going to eventually be a very, very good major leaguer. But do you give up James Triantos? Are you going to give up your depth to go and make a deal for Alcantara? And if you're the Marlins, I mean, it's a risk for you because once you start trading away former Cy Young award winners, some of your best pitchers, and you have to get a lot back, or the front office is going to be the target of the fan base, right? Another one that we talked about was Pedro Lopez. Bruce brought that up. You hear his name with the Minnesota Twins. They would probably like to unload his salary, but they don't want to unload the talent, right? Other guys that were named, Eric Fred and Sonny Gray, are those two guys that you would be interested in making a move for? The Cubs made the trade for Drew Pomerantz. That's done. But I mean, like, how much is he going to help? I mean, that's kind of a big piece. The problem is that you're talking about making trades for pitching in April. And everybody's still alive right now. You get closer to June and then July, and then teams are kind of eliminated. It's easier for them to decide they're going to trade somebody. But if you trade players when you still, mathematically are alive, you're going to lose your fan base. I thought this was interesting. We talked about this the other day. There was a story on Cubs SI where they said, hey, why don't they think about Martin Perez? Hey, he's done for the year. The left-hander has a flexor tendon strain. They're saying that maybe he could get back by September. How weird is that, right? Like the same week we're talking about him. Not that the White Sox were shopping him or whatever, but the bottom line is this: like, that's how finicky pitching is. That's it. And would the Cubs have made a deal to get somebody in there? I don't know if that deal would have happened. I mean, is that a guy you really want? But that's how it works. And you go out and spend a ton of money on these guys, and then they get hurt, and then that's that. So just interesting. Alcantara right now of the Marlins is the big name. The Cubs have the prospects to get him. But I'll tell you what, I would be really, really, really concerned about this front office trading away guys like Owen Casey to get, a rental, to get someone that, that you're not going to have knotted down for a long time, knowing that those guys are kind of up against the wall when it comes to their contracts. And it's like, hey, look, if it's them or me, you may trade those guys, but you may be stuck with, a deal where down the road you're going, hey, you know what, why did we do this? Why did we do that? And it's like, you got a front office that doesn't have contracts. So I just can't trade Owen Casey. I can trade any of the other guys. Well, probably him and Cade Horton. The rest of them, I mean, maybe you make a deal for them, but unless you win a World Series, you start trading those guys away, and you're in a spot right now with a front office with a 1-year deal, and this is the 1 year where they could make mistakes and it could cost you for a long time, And if I'm the Marlins, I'm sitting back going, look, I want Owen Casey. And I'd feel really good about it. That guy's like kind of on the verge of being the next Pete Crow-Armstrong, who's finally on the verge of being the guy that we told you he was going to be, the Hollywood Pete guy. Anyway, look, that's it right now. You guys tell me what you think. I thought last night's win was awesome. I thought it was it really exemplified what this team is doing right now. I'm excited about these guys. I love the way that they're playing. It feels like they are kind of hitting on all cylinders, and they're beating the Dodgers. I love beating the Dodgers, So one more game against the Dodgers, keep on going. But, there's a shortage when it comes to pitching. So they're going to have to add to that area if they really want to be a contender when it comes to September and October. Anyway, hey, guys, thanks for hanging with us on the show. As always, like and subscribe, get in the comment section. Love you guys being in the comment section, talking, being a part of what we do on a daily basis. And hell of a win. We'll talk to you guys again tomorrow. But thank you for being here, and go Cubs.